Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson, and you're watching my walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time Master Quest for Nintendo 3DS. We just completed the Deku Tree, and Mito's here just being a turd like usual. At least he's consistent, right? By the way, if your shield got burned up inside the dungeon, make sure you purchase another one here for 40 rupees before you leave. Now, if you're watching this playlist right now, chances are you've already played lots of regular Ocarina of Time, or watched lots of it, and the Master Quest is the exact same, except for the dungeons. The dungeons are different, but the overworld is the exact same, except for the fact that it's flipped east to west, and the enemies do double damage, but otherwise it's the same thing. And because you guys that are watching right now are probably really familiar with all the overworld stuff, there's not really much to say about it. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of skim through it, just give you some quick bullet point recommendations. I'm not going to be doing everything, just kind of the recommendations I think that'll be handy for you to get, just as a quick refresher for you guys. So if you are following along, you can just quickly get all the things and be reminded about where to go without having to dive into it for hours watching a whole bunch of footage that you've honestly seen a bunch of times before. That being said, I'm going to try and make this playlist really comedic and stuff instead. Little tip for this owl, you can just button mash B through all this, and that way you don't accidentally select something by pressing A instead. So here I'm button mashing B, nothing bad happens, and it gives you time to select the correct answer so that he doesn't repeat himself. Now here, once you get to this point, then aim your character the correct direction. That is not aimed right. No. Okay. That is still not aimed right. No, no. Always sounded strange that you could run backwards faster than you can run forwards. It doesn't work that way IRL. Can you imagine being able to do that, though? Like, that'd be so scary. I feel so scared of, tripping over myself or something. Now, ideally, you get to the castle before night falls. However, if you are stuck out here at night, you can just hang out on the road, and then the Stealth Children won't spawn. Now, if you can get here before nightfall, then the gate won't close behind you, but you can also use this opportunity to get some free rupees. Climb up on top of these chains, and then you can jump over to either side. There's one on either side, there's also one in the middle. If you can get both of them if you're quick, but it is kind of risky. You probably won't be able to do both of them. Alright, good enough. As long as we're here, let's get a piece of heart. Little white puppy over here in the corner. As long as you haven't touched one of the other puppies yet, then stand near it for a second, we'll start following you around. This is little Richard. Bring him over here. And chuck this puppy at this chick. A little midnight stroll through the market. Not questionable at all. Remember to button mash with B so that you don't accidentally select the wrong thing. Roll into the tree for a free Skulltula token as long as we're here. Climb up the vines. Sorry, it was an accident, honest. Give me your eggs! Oh, that came out wrong. And you do have to talk to her repeatedly, because the first time you talk to her, it just is introducing yourself. Second time, she'll give you an egg. Climb up the vines. Egg will hatch as soon as it turns day. Hopefully, if you timed it well, it was pretty nice. You can climb up right here, along this ramp, run away across, and climb up these vines. Go through the water for free rupees. Run away, Mario, run away! Completely exhilarating box moving time. Once you've gotten rid of Talon and stacked with the boxes, then go ahead and hop in, and like you normally would. Now, if you crawl through here and there are guards here, the reason is because it's at night. Now, the 3DS version does make this more obvious because there is actually nighttime in this area in the 3DS version. In the older versions of the game for the GameCube, it always looks day regardless of what time of day you crawl in through here. So then, sometimes there's guards, sometimes they're not, and it's kind of confusing as to why. So, if this happens to you, all you need to do is leave and then re-enter once it turns day, and the guards will no longer be here. I don't have anything special to say about this section, just be sneaky. Oh, gosh. Oh, it scared me. Quiet, Navi. I know you're like, hey, we should go see the princess, but I'm working on it. So if you'd like to make a smooth 20 rubies, you can shoot this window on the left. There is a sweet spot for it, though. It's like a little bit below the center. Yeah, don't mind me, princess. I'm just sneaking up behind you with a sword drawn. Totally legit. You should totally trust me. Someone with a name that trustworthy. Surely I can tell you all my secrets. See those mountains in the distance? Sick 'em! Into Kakariko we go. So I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact lately, and they have instruments in this game. And naturally, being a Zelda fan, I end up figuring stuff like this out on my own. You need a better profession. You don't have to get this bottle, but I do think it's super worthwhile in Master Quest. To the graveyard! You thought I was going to say to the sky, didn't you? As long as we're here, we can lift up this rock to get some bugs. There's a soft soil patch to the north that I'm going to use them on in order to get a gold Skulltula. I'm trying to collect 10 tokens real quick so that I can get the adult wallet as soon as possible. This will allow me to hold up to 200 rupees. I want to start collecting the rupees before we ever get to the future, so that we're already maxed out at 200 by the time we arrive, so that I can get the Goron sword. Head back to the grave. This part's all the exact same as regular Ocarina of Time. There's not really anything to say about it. I guess one comment about that though, because the enemies do double damage, that means these redeads are extra deadly. If they do end up munching on you, they could just one-shot you right there. One thing to know about the Sun Song that's pretty cool though is you can always use it throughout the game to stun redeads and Gibdos, like so. Pretty nice. They're stunned for a little while. It doesn't last indefinitely. It's only like, I don't know, 30 seconds or less, maybe 20 seconds. So it does give you some time though to run past them, or to sneak up behind them and defeat them. Alright, so next, before we leave, we should totally get some graves. There is this one, so just from the path, it's just two to the right. Now you can try sneaking up behind it, otherwise if it does see you, you can also use the Sun Song to stun it. Now after it's dead, regardless of if you played the Sun Song earlier or not, play the Sun Song again to make a chest appear. This isn't required, of course, it's just convenient. Back outside, there's another grave down here near Dampy, and this one is... it's the one with the flowers in front of it. Yeah, right here. This gives us a free Hylian shield. You can, of course, go purchase one in Castletown if you want to. However, if you're going to do that, then you should get the discount from the bro here at the base of Death Mountain first. As long as we're passing through, I'm going to fill this up with bugs again, because then I can use that to get more Skulltula tokens. At this point, we can move on. However, there is a bunch of gold Skulltulas that we can get here in Kakariko at night, and they're really easy and convenient. I want to get 10 so I can get the adult wallet as soon as possible. In the construction area, side of the Skulltula house, tree in the center of town, on the tower, and the side of the building up near the entrance to the town. Now at this point we just need to get back to Kokiri. The fastest way to do this is to save and quit, and what this will do is when you reopen your save file, it'll bring you back to the last save point you used, or whatever. You start out either at the beginning of a dungeon, or you start out in the Temple of Time, or your house in Kokiri, if that was the last place you went to. So now that we can finally get to Kokiri at night, there is a gold Skulltula we can get behind this house. It's only here at night, but you can reach it by using a jump attack. Now in the Lost Woods, real quick, if you gathered more bugs with me, then you should be able to go right twice, and then this will lead to a soft soil spot where you can use the bugs to get another Skulltula token. This is pretty optional, but there's not much effort required to do this. Okay, so from the start you want to go left, right, although right at this point you can go ahead and get this seed satchel. It's pretty easy as well. I don't think this is a super valuable prize, however it's really easy to get it. You can also hop down there and get that piece of heart from those Skull Kid if you want, but it's really time consuming, so I don't really think it's super worth your time. Remember to just mash B through all these so that you don't accidentally select the wrong thing. So at this point, once he's done talking, face towards the Goron City entrance, and then from here, go left, right, forward, right, left. I don't really have anything to say about the Sacred Forest Meadow, just kill this guy with jump attacks from behind, ideally. once you get to the end, if you do have a bottle like I do, you could go ahead and get a fairy inside this fairy fountain real quick if you want. I think this is kind of overkill most of the time. However, in Master Quest, just be aware that because enemies do double damage, it's a lot easier to die. This is like the ultimate friend zone, right? You'd like get a song from her that allows you to telepathically communicate with her to get tips that you will never use. So at this point, I think the fastest way to get out here is actually to save and quit. Chill, Navi, don't worry about it. I'm just taking the most roundabout path ever, right? I always thought this sounded like Hawaiian instruments. You can cheese your way through this minigame by simply picking up the Cuccos and throwing them in the corner. I find it works a little better, though, if rather than just behind the counter, you throw them on the stairs themselves. Sometimes the Cuccos will, like, leap off the edge, and other times they'll just walk back and forth on these steps a whole bunch, so throwing them over there looks the best. Ah, yes, much better. No, come back. No? Okay. Well, anyway, if you face towards the room, sort of like this is not the perfect position, but if you face towards the room a little bit like this when you talk to them, then what'll happen is you can see them while they're landing. So it makes this a little bit easier, too. Both of these tips are not necessary. This minigame is not that hard, but it is kind of funny that you can even do this. So what I actually recommend you do is, like, notice where the ones are that are far away, but then aim towards the ones that are off camera that you can't see very well. So obviously it's going to be this one. But yeah, so difficult. So you can tell Talon's the one who does the milk deliveries, because he's shipping right now. I figured this calcium will come in handy when I'm in the Temple of Light growing for 7 years. Time for equestrian ventures. And this ginger lass has this thing about trying to make us talk to her multiple times. When she finally talks about singing, then you want to go ahead and throw out the ocarina, and then, while standing close to her, I guess. There we go. So now that we've captured both her song and her heart, we can just never talk to her again. So in the back there's this tower that you can get to that has a really easy piece of heart. More exhilarating box moving. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't mind me, cows. Got a whole murder of crows coming after me. At night there's a couple of convenient gold sculptulas here in Lemon Ranch. So one of them is just behind this feeding trough, I think, thing right here. You can also roll into the tree next to the barn house here, but only at night. So I know it took kind of an odd path to get through all this stuff, but my goal was to get back to Kakariko so I could get the adult wallet before we ever got up Death Mountain. I wanted to make sure we started accumulating it before we got into the next dungeon. Whoa, I never noticed that the volume of the beeping went down when there's other stuff like these Cuccos nearby. Was it that way in the 64 version too and I just don't remember it? Guess I'm just not used to being out of breath like this. Can you imagine getting a royal decree like this? A name like that just makes it seem like even more of a prank. Why you gotta diss on my shield, man? Got something against wood shields? You could say he's shield bashing. Can you imagine doing the whole walkthrough with his beeping in the background? Just mosey our way past this roly bro. I always thought these rocks were kind of useless. They give you tons and tons of hearts, but I guess now it's coming in handy. This is like the manliest bracelet ever, right? We should at least open up the gateway to the Lost Woods. Oh, he didn't spin. Sometimes Link spins when that animation starts. Where am I going? It's all spun about. It's over there. Yay. There's other things we could do in Goron City, but I'm just not feeling it, so I'm just gonna nope on out of here. Ah yes, my childhood dreams can finally be realized, throwing things with wild abandon. Die sign. So at this point you can really quick get a piece of heart by throwing this bomb flower out of the way, and then what you do is you aim just like a little bit offset and then backflip. And this will bring you on top of the cavern where there is a piece of heart. I think normally what you're supposed to do to get this is to actually take the magic bean plant. You can take this right up there. By the way, you can also use a bugs on that to get a Skulltula token, which I don't care. I don't think any of these rocks have bugs. Nope. We have arrived. I think this is a nice place to end this particular video. I'll continue on with the Dodogos Cavern in the next one. But what do you guys think of this particular style? This just me being totally ridiculous and lots of fast-paced jump cuts, lots of jokes. This is actually, by the way, if you enjoyed this style, then I do have another playlist that I'm working on simultaneously for the game Astroneer. So I have a playlist for that. I only have 2 videos of that out so far, but I was experimenting with this kind of humor for that playlist, and I've enjoyed it so much that I wanted to figure out a way to try and incorporate this sarcastic. It's sort of a fine balance, right? I'm like, I want to be like, walkthroughs and guides with positive vibes is my slogan, and I really, it's really important to me, and I want to maintain that. But at the same time, the sarcastic humor is, I like it a lot. Just so ridiculous and over the top. But anyway, yes, if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely enjoy the Astroneer stuff too. I think those are probably some of the funniest videos I've ever made, so it's a great time, and I've been greatly enjoying it. I'll have links to that in the description, and I'll also have the end cards here until YouTube changes their UI again and it breaks once again, but whatever. I'll have it for now anyways. As always, huge thanks goes to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this possible. If you enjoyed this and found it helpful, be sure to throw a like on it, subscribe, leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Remember to stay awesome, you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.